Alright, well, thank you for your interest in my 2003 Ford Econoline I have up for sale. I'm gonna try to make this video not too long, but also be very thorough. That way any questions you might have can be answered throughout this video. I guess first off, we'll start with the exterior and a little brief history on the vehicle. When I bought it was originally white, and I professionally painted it with this really tough material called the Raptor Liner, sort of like a bed liner type of material. It's now like a sand tan color, really nicely done. Stripped all the old paint off, primered it, and resprayed it. And then I went ahead and sprayed this with like a black bed liner material. It's a little less thick than the tan color, but really nice. The material is super durable, great for rain and all the dirt. Can't even notice it's dirty. Everything cleans up really nicely off that paint. Super durable, it doesn't scratch. Yep. When I bought the vehicle, it was probably about 8 months ago. I pretty much did a lot of snowboarding trips in it. That's why I bought it, mostly for the winter. And I was flirting with the idea of doing it full-time, maybe taking a semester off, but for a few reasons I'm selling it. Main reason being I have the opportunity to move out to Hawaii, and fortunately I can't take this with me as much as I want to keep the van, but it's been great. That's the exterior. It is a van that was converted with the high top roof, and that's all fiberglass on top. We have two 100-watt or 100-watt Renogy solar panels up there, and then a 4-speed fan. All right, so we'll go ahead and move on to the inside. These mirrors are also very nice. You have the blind spot mirror and then a close-up mirror. So that being said, it's a 2003 van. There's a little bit of cosmetic things that you'll notice. It's almost a 20-year-old van, so just keep that in mind. One thing before we move on inside, since I did do a lot of trips in the snow, and by the way, this van handled awesome in the snow, I went ahead and went with a different material on this bottom trim piece around the van, just for extra protection against any possible rust. Instead of it being a water-based material, it's like a urethane oil-based, so it's going to do much better with snow or rain or just any moisture in general. That's why on camera you notice it more, but there's a little bit of a tone color difference just because when I went ahead and put that other layer on, it came out a little darker. But it's great for that added protection. That way you don't really have to worry about rust too much. Moving inside, got the seats. These seats are pretty comfortable. You'll notice a little bit of cracking right there. This AC blows very cold and the heat blows pretty warm. It can get pretty toasty in here. So all the vents blow out great, but these guys right here, you kind of have to move them all at the same time. The middle one isn't connected anymore. No biggie there. Aux input for the radio if you want to be using that. Power windows. Kenwood audio system right here, so you can do Bluetooth or aux, or what I usually would prefer, just plug in your USB iPhone cord. That way you can charge while playing music if you want to do that. And then the driving chair right there. It's leaned back pretty far right now just because last time I was driving I was going for quite a distance, so I was in lounging mode, but it reclines more than enough that you need. Current miles 104,000. So yeah, I put that little armrest just so it could be a little bit more cushiony right there. And we got visors. There's no mirrors on them, although I guess you could use this thing as a little mirror. This light currently doesn't work, which I didn't bother replacing because I ended up installing this touch one right here, over here, which is nice because at night when the van's off and you need light right here in this area, just boom, touch it, good to go. Works better than this thing. Okay. All right, moving on in to the van. We'll start here with the sink. So underneath the sink, got two 5-gallon tanks, fresh water, gray water. Super easy to pull out and refill or dump. Quick disconnect right there, then you just slide it on out. And then this guy right here, you pretty much just pull this hose off, slides right on out, and then there you go, you can pull it all out and dump it. I have extra tanks too in case you want to store extra water. This is nice as well because this swivels out, and if you wanted to get, you know, a little hose down, a little shower, you could. And then since we're talking about the sink, there's not much water left in the tanks, which you can access them from in front as well. But that's how it works. Yeah, there's a little bit left in there still. Then you could even do the shower. Yeah, the water's running on empty. So, got that. Okay. Moving back right here. So right here we have mini fridge, propane, stovetop. So mini fridge first. This thing works great. It's not a Dometic, but just as good, honestly. So I usually keep this strap right here hooked in, that way when I'm driving it doesn't slide around on the corners. Plenty of space. You could definitely fit quite a bit of food in here. Yeah, works great. Usually have like milk, some juice, you know, and all my, you know, meats or whatever I'm gonna be cooking up. Some leaves. You know, I have it set at 32 right now just because nothing's in there, but wanted to plug it in to show that, you know, that it works. You can set it to, it could actually be a fridge or a freezer, so you can set it down pretty low. Forget what the minimum temp is, but you know, it's only gonna do one or the other, so either you freeze your stuff or keep it nice and cool. Right above that, that's where I keep all my utensils. So, you know, just keep the utensils in this drawer, placemat, cutting board. Works great. Okay, so right here is where the propane tank can store. This little cabinet is kind of like a fake cabinet. It just goes down into the same storage right here. So to access the propane, whenever I'm driving long distances or leaving camp, there we go, I usually turn the propane off just for safety reasons, you know. So it's nice because it's completely sealed. That way you don't have to worry about anything leaking. So you pretty much just pop this guy out, put that aside. And then, you know, if you're rolling up to camp, you just open up the tank. Then there's this little valve here to let the gas through to the top. And I can't do this with one hand, so let's see here. There you go. Oh. Well, when you first turn it on, you kind of have to bleed all the air out. There we go. And then, yeah, they all work. I'll turn them on real quick just so you can see. So yeah, 3 range. Yep, so, you know, they work great. Do a lot of cooking in here. So above that, then you have this panel just to kind of protect from all the grease splashing on the wood. Then you got, you know, another panel up here, as well as 2 lights. So, you know, if you're at night and just want to cook, light switches right here. So, you know, nice light over your stove. Right here, this is magnetic. You just put magnets or, you know, like a magnetic knife block or something right there. Whatever you want. Okay, then usually when I head on out, you know, I'm leaving camp and driving, you know, wherever I'm going to the next location. Pretty simple. Just close it up. Usually we'll bleed all the air. Just bleed it out. The rest of the gas. Sweet. Close this little guy. Grab the panel. Boom. Good to go. Completely sealed. Also, this is for the fridge right here. So it's plugged into, like, you know, one of those 12-volt car charger things. I just kind of duct tape it so it can stay out of the way. But if you wanted to plug it into an actual outlet for whatever reason, got the adapter right here. This, I was flirting with the idea of putting those lifts for the cabinet. That way you don't have to hold them up with your hand. It would stay still. I never got around to it. But yeah, I guess we'll go on to the cabinet space. So right by the stove, plenty of cabinet space to store whatever. I usually keep like electronics, my camera stuff up here, you know, toiletries, whatever you want. Little pockets all around here. I'm not sure what I have in there right now. Then above the front of the van, you have this huge cargo space. You can reach pretty far in there. I could probably lay down in here if I really wanted to. That's how big it is. But I usually keep all the extra cushions for the bed up here, and usually maybe like a duffel or two or a backpack. Okay, moving on. So we got the fan, which is great. It's right above the stove for cooking. It's pretty simple. You just pull this down, you know, twist that open. Then it has 4 speeds. So this one's pretty light. You know, 2, 3, 4. In case you're really cooking something up in here and need to vent all that out. And then just turn it off. And then I always bring it back down, I know, when I'm going to be driving. Okay, so we already talked about the sink. Again, just more cabinet space. Oh, there's a whole bunch of recessed lighting in here. So right here is the switch for that, and they're dimmable. Yep, it's great. Okay, that's good. Plenty of cabinet space everywhere right here. So, you know, this is usually where I keep all my food, up in here, like basically my pantry. So, yep. A little towel rack or knife block. This is magnetic, so you can, I just have these little hooks up here, but you can put knives up there if you wanted to. Cool little cute fruit basket. Okay, right here, this is where I usually keep like extra food, plates, you know, pots, pans, whatever. That's the pump for the sink. And then this is like the accumulator and filter. And there's another little tiny small screen filter in here, which is great because it's clear. So you can see if there's any every little sediment in there, you can go ahead and take it out. You know, if your sink's not working for whatever reason, just rinse the little filter in there. And if, you know, you keep seeing sediment in there, then you have to flush the system. But never had an issue with it, so great. Then again, you know, just more storage space for pots, pans, food, whatever you want in there. Okay, let's see here. Okay, got 3 outlets, 2 USB ports. And there's an inverter, so you can use these outlets. They're great. I tried doing a big air fryer, like a 5-quart air fryer in here, and that was a little too much power. The previous owners used one of the smallest size Instapot, and they said it worked just fine. I don't have that size Instapot, so haven't tried that, but I did use a panini press, and that worked great. So in order to use these, the inverter has to be on. You just press that button, boom, green light. Press it, turn it off. To use the USB ports, the inverter does not have to be on. Just keep in mind, using the outlets, it's going to consume a little bit more power from the battery than it would the USB ports. Also, it's a cool little feature here, 2 USB ports in the pantry cabinet. That way, if you're ever out parked somewhere and you want to still charge stuff, leave it in here. You don't have to leave it in the open. Just kind of hide it in your cabinet. Carbon monoxide detector and more storage space. So this is great. I have this little thing up here just to kind of store, like, I had some beanies, you know, some bags, just whatever you want to store in here. Could even fit a duffel, you know, another duffel. Plenty of storage space in this van. Little mini fire extinguisher thing, you know, if you ever start burning the place down. Okay. Right here, so this is the insulation panel for the windshield. Now every window in here has an insulation panel to go with it, and they all fit pretty snug, except for one of these rear ones. There's like a little bit of a gap, but yeah, it's great, especially for the winter. They work great. So I keep the biggest one right there because that's just kind of where it fits best out of the way. Down here, more storage space. So here, you know, I always keep a little toolkit on me. You know, this is where I'd put, like, you know, snowboarding gear. So, you know, my gloves, pants, jackets, all that good stuff. And this is just extra storage space, and I just shoved all the other insulation panels in here. And this little cabinet just goes, you know, to the same space underneath here. And then a little cubby right here, which I usually stuff like maybe some blankets in here, you know, whatever it may be. We'll go into some of the electrical system now. So all right, underneath here you got the Renogy battery, the kill switch right here. So if you're going to do any electrical work, whatever it may be, disconnecting the battery, solar panels, whatever, you're always going to want to, you know, hit the kill switch to turn it off. That way you don't run into anything or short anything out. Fuse box right here, little terminal board. It's not the cleanest setup, but it's definitely very simple. I mean, it's a battery, some fuses, and then 2 main wires that go to the solar panels. If you wanted to install this to be able to charge this guy off your alternator, this is what that's for. I never got around to doing that. I'm sure it'd be pretty simple. This is the inverter right here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Very simple. Okay. Right here you kind of have the little dining area. So, you know, basically 2 seats, a dining table. And how this works and folds out into a bed, it's pretty simple. Pretty much this guy's like a telescoping DIY table, if you want to call it that. So pretty much this boot right here, you know, holds it pretty secure so it doesn't slip. If you want to bring it down, you just loosen the boot. There's 2 of these things right here that help support it. So you undo the other one and just kind of just push it down. I only have one hand, so I'm not going to go through the whole thing. It's pretty simple. I can show it to you in person. Then so yeah, that lays flat, and then sometimes I'll even just use that as a bench, you know, to do whatever with my snowboard or just kind of chill out, you know, if I don't want to be using the table. And then there's cushions to perfectly fit this as a bed. And so these are some of the cushions right here, and then keep the rest up there. And at first it may look like a little bit of a game of Tetris, but it's honestly very simple. After making the bed 2 times, perfect. You know, I had it all down memorized and very easy to do. It takes like 3 minutes tops to turn it into the bed. So yeah, pretty much this would come down into bench mode. And then, as you can see, there's like 2 panels under here. And then, you know, there's a panel right here with legs. So basically bench mode, panels flip out, the legs flip down, you have a bed. Pretty simple. Underneath here, plenty of storage space. Keep a little Mr. Buddy heater, since I was doing a lot of winter trips snowboarding. Another big storage space here. That pretty much covers the interior. We'll go ahead and open the back doors up. Okay, so yeah, like I said, easy access to the storage area right here. It's kind of what it looks like from out here. Little privacy curtains, which are great. That way you can change or whatever. I usually keep like a little emergency kit. So there's like some like zip ties, duct tape, jumper cables, whatever you need. I always keep a first aid kit with me. A little shovel, since I was doing a lot of snow stuff, as I've mentioned a billion times. A little bug screen, so you can grab the little magnets from up there. You know, just kind of put the screen down if you wanted to sleep with these things open and there's bugs or whatever. Okay, right here, the charge controller. So simple. 2 solar panels, 2 wires. Come down, boom, into here. So then these are 2 cables from the panels. They come into this charge controller, and then 2 cables go out down towards the battery, positive and a negative. This thing has a whole bunch of different data you can pull from it. I basically only pay attention to 2 things: battery percentage and what the current volts are at. Well, there's a whole bunch of other stuff you can do, like how many amps it's currently pulling in. And I have the manual if you wanted to see exactly what everything means. So, quick thing on energy consumption. Lasts a long time. If you have some sun each day charging the battery, you can go for a long time. Without sun, or let's just say without you having any mode of charging the battery, you might be looking at about 3 days on low consumption. Yeah, I've gone maybe like a day and a half where it was just snowing and I did not get any charging, and I did great. I was able to charge my phone, some GoPro batteries, and an iPad. And the fridge doesn't draw very much, and neither do these lights. So yeah, you can go quite a bit. If you have more questions on energy consumption, we could talk about that a little bit more. Yep, so that pretty much wraps most of it up. We'll do a little walk around again. The 3rd owner of this van, first owner used it as a business cargo van, second owner converted it. It was a couple, and while they were dating, one of them lived out of it full-time for about 8 months to a year. And then they did van life together, traveled around the country. They ended up deciding to settle down, bought their first home. Boom, here I am with the van now. Reason I'm selling it, moving to Hawaii, so fortunately can't ship it over there. It doesn't really make much sense for me to ship it. I was, thinking of the idea of doing van life full-time for maybe like, a couple months or whatever, just to kind of try it out, travel around the country, but can't beat up Hawaii. So yeah, again, I was pretty much prepping this van to get ready for full time. So if you wanted to come live out of this thing, definitely could. It's been done already. And then I did a little bit of renovations to make it more comfortable. All this paint, pretty much, I painted it myself a couple months ago, so the paint's brand new. Cool little things. I had all my Polaroids up there, so you can tack some photos up there, whatever you want to do. Now we'll look underneath the van real quick. So that being said, it is a little bit of an older van, so you might see some minor surface corrosion like that right there, which is to be expected. The catalytic converter from ended up getting kind of rusty, so I ended up getting a new welded on. And then yeah, see, like a little bit of corrosion right there. I try to treat most of anything I felt that was really susceptible to corrosion down here with some like corrosion preventative spray, which is pretty much you can find at any Home Depot, and they'll say for like your car's undercarriage or whatever. But so yeah, there's a lot of things that I sprayed down in here to prevent any further corrosion or whatever. No leaks, suspension's good. I replaced all 4 shocks in here, and we'll go ahead and pop the hood. So yeah, all 4 shocks are new, all 4 tires pretty much brand new, man. Like, these things are awesome. Yeah, they did great in the winter and snow, but they're definitely not dedicated winter tires, so you definitely want to carry chains, which is what I did. Sorry about the wind. Been trying to film the past 2 days, but it's been so windy. Okay. Yes, we got in here. The battery's fairly new. I think they replaced it maybe like 6 months before I bought it. I did an oil change probably about 1,500 miles ago, maybe more like 2,000 miles ago. Fluids are good, the belt's good, no squeaking at all when you start it up, no leaks whatsoever. So yeah, you got, you know, coolant, brake, trans, you know. Yep. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'm located in Southern California, about an hour from both, in between San Diego and LA, called Temecula, Murrieta area, Inland Empire, whatever. Yeah, I can't really think of any more details besides, while they were doing van life full time, their mechanic recommended, as in the previous owners, that they replace the transmission, which they did. So it's got a newer transmission on it. Maybe by now it has like 20,000 miles on it. So I have to check the Carfax. Forgot when exactly it was done, but yeah, new transmission. This thing's runs solid. On the highway, I usually cruise about 85. Oh, it's my bad. I mean, usually cruise around 80. You can cruise up around 85, but you're just gonna be burning more fuel. So if you're trying to get somewhere quick, you know, you could probably cruise at 85. I usually cruise at 80. If I wanted to save some more, you know, be more efficient on fuel, you could probably cruise at about 70. You'll be good. This thing hauls, man. So, you know, on passes, I'll be, you know, easily just staying at 65 all the way up the pass. You know, you're gonna be passing semis and you'll be in the left lane. Once you start getting at, you know, 70, when it's nice and steep, then you'll start hearing the engine putting in some more work. So I always like to keep it at 60, 65 on the high passes. But yeah, like I said, that's pretty much it. If you got more questions, feel free to let me know. And yep, thanks.